धरती पे सजाना हम सबका संकल्प है। राजयोग से ही होना अब जग का कायाकल्प है।
स्वर्णिम युग धरती पे सजाना हम सबका संकल्प है। राजयोग से ही होना अब जग का कायाकल्प है।
तभी तो परिवर्तन का नारा, तभी तो परिवर्तन का नारा हमने किया बुलंद है।
आगमन से आपके आनंद ही आनंद है।
आज तो अपनी हरीश का मिलता कहीं न अंत है।
आगमन से
आपके आनंद ही आनंद है। शुभ स्वागतम स्वागतम, शुभ स्वागतम स्वागतम, शुभ स्वागतम स्वागतम, शुभ स्वागतम स्वागतम, शुभ स्वागतम शुभ स्वागतम, शुभ स्वागतम
शत स्वागतम,
शुभ स्वागतम,
शुभ स्वागतम, शत स्वागतम, शत स्वागतम। जय भारती वंदे सर पे हिमालय का छत्र है। चरणों में नदियाँ एकत्र हैं। हाथों में वेदों के पत्र हैं। ये देश नहीं ऐसा अन्यत्र है। सर पे हिमालय का छत्र है। चरणों में नदियाँ एकत्र हैं। हाथों में वेदों के पत्र हैं। ये देश नहीं ऐसा अन्यत्र है। जय भारती वंदे भारती, जय भारती वंदे भारती। धुएं से पावन ये व्योम है। घर घर में होता जहाँ होम है। धुएं से पावन ये व्योम है। घर घर में होता जहाँ होम है। पुलकित हमारे रोम रोम है। पुलकित हमारे रोम रोम है। ये आदि अनादि शब्द ओम है। जय भारती वंदे भारती, जय भारती वंदे भारती।
And a big round of applause for that Dance Group Academy. So now it's my great pleasure to invite someone to the stage who is really very well known internationally by the Brahma Kumaris. This is Sister Elizabeth Padilla, and she helps run our retreat center in San Francisco. So please give a warm welcome to Sister Elizabeth, who will now sing 2 songs for us.
Thank you. Om Shanti. मेरा नाम Elizabeth. I'm from San Francisco, USA. And I am affiliated with Brahma Kumaris for 28 years. And I'm privileged and proud to be singing for you today. Ayam Nija Paroveti Ganana Laguchetasa Uddhara Charatanant Vasudev Kutumbakam सबका मालिक एक फिर क्यों पटा हुआ संसार है सबका मालिक एक फिर क्यों पटा हुआ संसार है सच पूछो तो सारी दुनिया अपना ही परिवार है सच पूछो तो सारी दुनिया अपना ही परिवार है एक दूसरे से नफरत सारे जगदों का मूल है सारे जगदों का मूल है ये मेरा है वो तेरा है यही सूचना भूल है यही सूचना भूल है ओम शांति वो मंत्र है जो जीवन को सफल बनाए ओम शांति वो मंत्र है जो जीवन को सफल बनाए ऊंच नीच का भेद मिटाए प्रेम का पाठ पढ़ाए ऊंच नीच का भेद मिटाए प्रेम का पाठ बढ़ाए इस धरती पर सबको सुख से जीने का अधिकार है सच पूछो तो सारी दुनिया अपना ही परिवार है सच पूछो तो सारी दुनिया अपना ही परिवार है सबका मालिक एक फिर क्यों पता हुआ संसार है सच पूछो तो दुनिया अपना ही परिवार है सच पूछो तो सारी दुनिया अपना ही परिवार है जाति धर्म और रंग भेद है सब हमने ही बनाया ये हबस हमने ही बनाया आत्मा का स्वधर्म भूले अपना लागे पराया अपना लागे पराया अलग अलग है रंग फूल के माटी सबकी एक है अलग अलग है रंग फूल के माटी सबकी एक है माला कोई बनाया लेकिन माली सबका एक है माला कोई बनाया लेकिन माली सबका एक है जीवन नया पार उतारे शिव ही वो पतवार है सच पूछो तो सारी दुनिया अपना ही परिवार है सच पूछो तो सारी दुनिया अपना ही परिवार है सबका मालिक एक फिर क्यों पता हुआ संसार है सच पूछो तो सारी दुनिया अपना ही परिवार है सच पूछो तो सारी दुनिया अपना ही परिवार है अब मैं आपके सामने एक इंग्लिश गाना प्रस्तुत करूंगी. I am not alone. मैं अकेले नहीं हूँ. मैं अकेले नहीं हूँ. भगवान आप हमेशा मेरे साथ हैं. ओम शांति. You're here in my heart. You're the light that guides me through the dark. You walk beside me when night seems cold, and when I fall, your arms are there to hold. You walk beside me, giving me strength I've never known, and I am not alone. You walk beside me. I am not alone. You're here in my mind. I talk to you, and all my fears unwind. I know I'm loved for who I am. I know you want to make me the best that I can. You walk beside me, giving me strength I've never known, and I am not alone. You walk beside me. I am not alone. Wherever the road leads, I rely on your patience when I fear the unknown. And because of you, Baba, I am not alone. I am not alone. I am not alone. I am not alone. You're always beside me. I am not alone. You are here. You are right here beside me. In the sun, in the rain, throughout time and back again. You are always beside me. I reach out to hold your hand. I know that you'll understand. Yeah. In the sun and in the rain, you are here. You are right here beside me. I reach out to hold your hand. I know that you'll understand.
ladies and gentlemen, Sister Elizabeth from San Francisco. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to invite onto the stage the zonal head for the states of Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, Santosh Didi, our dear, sweet elder sister, senior sister, to address you for a short welcome. Santosh Didi, please do come to the stage.
ओम शांति। आज की निमा शाम के समय पधारे हुए हमारे अतिथिगण तथा सभा में पधारे हुए हमारे प्यारे भाइयों और बहनों, अभी हम सब बहुत ही प्रेम से सुन रहे थे कि हमारी एलिजाबेथ बहन कितना प्यार से ईश्वर की स्मृति सबको दिला रही थी और खुद का अनुभव भी सुना रही थी कि वो परमात्मा कैसा सदैव हमारे अंग और संग रहता। इसी विषय को लेकर के, क्योंकि सर्वशक्तिवान एक ही परमात्मा है और उसकी शक्ति के द्वारा ही जिसको स्वर्ग का रचयिता कहा जाता है, उसी ने इस भारत देश को एक सर्वश्रेष्ठ पावर बनाया, नई दुनिया बनाई, स्वर्ग बनाया। जिस आदि संस्कृति को हम भूल गए हैं, वापस उसकी याद दिलाने के लिए हमारे इतने दूर दूर से फॉरेन से आए हुए जो भाई बहन हैं, जिन्होंने अपने जीवन में इतना अच्छा सुंदर परमात्मा के संग का अनुभव किया हुआ है, वो विशेष आप सभी के आगे अपना अनुभव रखने के लिए आए हैं। क्योंकि हम सभी एक ही पिता की संतान होने के कारण जब हमारे जीवन में सुख और शांति आती है तो ऐसा लगता है कि हमारे भाई बहनों को भी उससे फ़ायदा हो। तो कैसे हम सर्वशक्तिवान की याद के द्वारा, परमात्मा के संग के द्वारा शक्तिशाली बनकर के अपने जीवन को श्रेष्ठ और ऊंचा बनाते हैं, उसका अनुभव हम सभी कल भी सुनते रहे और आज भी सुनेंगे। कल भी हमने देखा कि हमारे विशिष्ट व्यक्ति जो भी भाई बहन आए हुए थे, वो सवेरे से लेके शाम तक कितनी लगन से, कितने प्रेम से आपस में डिस्कशन कर रहे थे, अपने विचारों का आदान प्रदान कर रहे थे कि किस रीति से हम अपने जीवन को ऊंचा बनाते हुए अनेक आत्माओं को भी ऊंचा बनाने का कार्य कर सकते हैं। तो आज जो भी विशेष इस कार्य के लिए यहाँ पर पधारे हैं, चाहे हमारे फॉरेनर्स हैं, चाहे हमारे भाई बहन हैं सुनने वाले या सुनाने वाले, हम उन सभी का बहुत बहुत हार्दिक स्वागत करते हैं, स्वागत करते हैं, स्वागत करते हैं। और मैं यही आशा करती हूँ कि आज हम लोग हमारे इन भाई बहनों से ये प्रेरणा लेंगे कि अगर इन्होंने इतना दूर रहते हुए भी भारत के प्राचीन राज्यों का इतना फ़ायदा लिया है, जिससे अपने जीवन को इतना सुखी और शांत बनाया है, सिर्फ खुद का ही जीवन नहीं परंतु अनेक आत्माओं का जीवन बनाने के लिए ये निमित्त बने हैं, जिन्होंने अपना जीवन सारा इसमें समर्पण कर दिया है। तो उनसे हम प्रेरणा लेकर के हम भी अपने जीवन को इन जैसा ऊंचा बनावे और अब अपना जीवन ऊंचा बना के भारत के उत्थान के लिए, विश्व के उत्थान के लिए हम भी एक निमित्त बने। ये आज यहाँ से प्रेरणा लेकर के हमारे आए हुए सब भाई बहन जरूर जाएंगे और ये खास प्रण करेंगे कि थोड़ा सा समय निकाल करके भी हमें ज़रूर रोज़ अपनी आत्म उन्नति के लिए, आत्मचिंतन के लिए और परमात्म चिंतन के लिए हमें ज़रूर टाइम देना है, जो हमारा जीवन सफल हो जाए, हम आत्माएं शक्तिशाली बन जाए और वातावरण भी शक्तिशाली बने, ये प्रकृति भी सतो प्रधान बने और सारी सृष्टि भी सतो प्रधान बने। इसीलिए ये ईश्वरीय विश्वविद्यालय यही कहता है कि आप अपने जीवन को पवित्र बनाओ, योगी बनाओ और अनेकों को रास्ता बताने के लिए निमित्त बनो। ओम शांति।
Thank you, Didi. And now, if you'd like to stay here, Didi, I would like to now invite from the audience Mr. Ram Bogol, Miss Vijaya Rahatkar, Santosh Didi, who's here already, the Honorable Sri Rajesh Tope, Dr. V.M. Pandripande, Ms. Usha Mehra, Sister Maureen Chen, Nizar Juma, Sister Genti, Mr. Klaus Peter Hankel, Sheila Didi, Mr. John Symes, Mr. Mark Foucault, B.K. Vadana, Sister Elizabeth, who is singing for us, and Sister Goodluck Gudrun. And now I would like to, for us all to join in a beautiful candle lighting ceremony.
ज्योत जगाओ, ज्योत जगाओ, विश्व शांति की ज्योत जगाओ, ज्योत जगाओ, ज्योत जगाओ, विश्व शांति की ज्योत जगाओ। इस धरती से अशांति का अंधकार मिटाओ, ज्योत जगाओ, ज्योत जगाओ, ज्योत जगाओ, विश्व शांति की ज्योत जगाओ।
And now if I could invite the welcome ceremony guests to leave the stage, and then I will begin the rest of the program. Thank you so much. So now, this is the moment when our Future of Power program is really going to start. We are so happy to be here in this, as we have discovered, great city of Aurangabad. My name is Mr. Anthony Phillips, and I'm just part of the Future of Power team. And the Future of Power team and the program have been traveling all over India for these programs, and you may be interested to know that Aurangabad is the 19th city in India to have done one of these programs. So congratulations to you. Now these programs will be run all over India. In fact, we would like to finish next year in a very major conference in Delhi after having been to all 32 of the main cities of India. As well, we will be running these programs on all 5 continents of the planet, and we hope that by the end of next year we will have achieved something great and have achieved something great for India. And it is now my great pleasure to introduce the person who is the mastermind of the Future of Power programs. He is of Indian blood. He lives in Nairobi, Africa. He is a very big guy. He's a big man, but more importantly than that, as you are going to find out just by looking at him, he has a huge, huge golden heart. And his heart is with Mother India. He loves India, and he has come very close to India. He is a Muslim by birth, but he has come close to the Brahma Kumaris, and he has very deeply understood the meaning of the message that the Brahma Kumaris are giving to the world. And so he has used his wherewithal to get the Brahma Kumaris and a team of us to undertake these Future of Power programs throughout India. His name is Mr. Nizar Juma. And Mr. Nizar Juma is a very, very busy man. He is the chairman of the board of more than 50 countries. And he works very closely with the Aga Khan in his humanitarian development organization. But I have to tell you, the main task, the main love of Mr. Nizar Juma is the Brahma Kumaris and the Future of Power program. And so it is my great, great pleasure to invite Mr. Nizar Juma to the stage to explain the program for you. Mr. Nizar Juma, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Anthony. You know, Anthony is the one that introduces everybody, thanks everybody, and nobody thanks him. So before I start, I want to say that Anthony Phillips, he has come all the way from England, especially for this program. Also, he's doing this purely on a voluntary basis. And so we are very thankful to him that he has come all this way. You will see that just before we end, he will disappear 5 minutes before, because he has to take a flight at 8:40, I think it is. So please join me in saying a big, big thank you to Anthony before I start.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Honorable Rajesh Tope, our guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I always have this question, whether I should speak in English or in Hindi. And because the light's on me, I can't see you. So I want to know whether you prefer Hindi or English. Hindi? Okay. Now, because you've chosen Hindi, मुझे आपको ये कहना पड़ेगा कि मेरी हिंदी इतनी अच्छी नहीं है. तो इसलिए आपने जो चूज किया है, वो इसके लिए मुझे थोड़ा पहले से आपकी माफ़ी चाहूँगा मैं कि ये मेरी हिंदी अच्छी नहीं है, इसलिए मैं मेरा मैसेज सिंपल रखूँगा. फ्यूचर ऑफ पावर, आप सोचते होंगे ये फ्यूचर ऑफ पावर क्या है. तो मेरा काम शॉर्ट है कि आपको ये समझाना कि फ्यूचर ऑफ पावर क्या है और फ्यूचर ऑफ पावर भारत में, इंडिया में क्यों रेलेवेंट है. 2500 साल के तक वर्ल्ड पावर भारत में था. ये पावर इधर से बहुत से कंट्रीज में गया है. इधर से इजिप्ट, इधर से चाइना, रोम, ग्रीस, स्पेन, ग्रेट ब्रिटेन, और अभी ये पावर है यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में. ये मैं वर्ल्ड पावर की बात कर रहा हूं. अभी आपने सुना है कि 2007 से वर्ल्ड में फाइनेंशियल और इकोनॉमिक का मेल्टडाउन हो रहा है. मोस्ट यूरोपियन कंट्रीज अभी बैंकरप्ट है और डेट से ब्लोटेड है. इतनी डेट है इनकी कि अभी उनकी जीडीपी जो ग्रोथ है, कंट्री की ग्रोथ, नेशनल प्रोडक्ट की ग्रोथ होती है, वो अभी 0 है या नेगेटिव है। अमेरिका का भी यही सिचुएशन है। अभी इसमें हम खुश नहीं होते हैं कि ये मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट है, कि ये एक फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन मैं आपको दे रहा हूं। तो अभी ये हो रहा है कि ये पावर, वर्ल्ड पावर अभी शिफ्ट हो रहा है। जब ये पावर 2500 इयर्स तक भारत में था, तो ये पावर इधर सॉफ्ट पावर, हम इनको सॉफ्ट पावर कहते हैं। सॉफ्ट पावर का मीनिंग ये होते हैं कि हमारा जो महाराजा, राजा थे, वो राजा इनके प्रजा के प्यार से उनको रूल करते थे। तब कोई टेलीविजन नहीं था, इलेक्शन नहीं था, ये सब नहीं था। तो राजा इस रूढ़ी से उनको रूल करते थे, क्योंकि इनके प्रजा के ऊपर प्यार था। तो इनको हम बेनेवोलेंट किंग्स कहते हैं। तब ये पावर सॉफ्ट पावर था। जब ये पावर इधर से दूसरी कंट्रीज में गए, तब ये पावर हार्ड बनने गया। तो अभी अमेरिका में ये पावर का डेफिनेशन ये है कि हमारे पास कितना गन्स, बॉम्ब्स और पैसे हैं, ये इनका डेफिनेशन है, और इनको हम हार्ड पावर कहते हैं। अभी कोई शक की बात नहीं है कि ये पावर वापस ईस्ट में आ रहा है, और मोर पर्टिकुलरली ये पावर इधर भारत में आ रहा है। अभी क्वेश्चन ये है कि जब ये पावर भारत में आएगा, तब हम ये पावर का कस्टोडियंस बनेंगे। कस्टोडियंस जब हम बनेंगे, तो क्या हम ये पावर को सॉफ्ट पावर वापस बना सकते हैं कि नहीं, ये क्वेश्चन है। इसलिए है कल सारा दिन ये स्टेट का बहुत से लोग इकट्ठे होके ये क्वेश्चन का डिस्कशन किया, और आज आपकी सामने एंथनी भाई इनको क्वेश्चन आंसर करेंगे। तो आपको इसमें से मालूम पड़ेगा कि क्या चर्चा हुई और क्या डिसीजन हुआ कि ये स्टेट में फ्यूचर में ये पावर भारत में जब आएगा, तब ये पावर हम सॉफ्ट बना सकेंगे कि नहीं। ये सॉफ्ट पावर बनाने की क्या सिस्टम है, क्या हमें अपनाना है कि ये पावर सॉफ्ट बने। जैसे पहले पावर सॉफ्ट था, ऐसा वापस सॉफ्ट कैसा हम उनको बना सकते हैं। ये इसलिए मेरे जैसे बिजनेसमैन ने ब्रह्मा कुमारी के साथ पार्टनरशिप किया है। क्यों? कि मेरी खुद के लाइफ में 20 साल पहले मैंने स्पिरिचुअलिटी का अडॉप्शन किया, मैंने उनको अडॉप्ट किया, मेरी लाइफ को चेंज किया। जो भी मेरे लाइफ में चीज ऐसी थी कि जो तब मुझे नॉर्मल लगती थी, दारू, सिगरेट, पार्टी, जो भी आप बोलो, ये सब मैं कर चुका हूं। लेकिन अभी जो मैंने ये स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ अपनाई है, तो इसमें से मुझे मालूम पड़ता है कि ये अपग्रेडेड लाइफ है। और अभी ये फैशन हो गई है कि सब लोग हम कहते हैं कि जब प्रार्थना करने का टाइम है तब प्रार्थना करो, जब काम करने का टाइम है तब काम करो, ये दोनों को जुड़ा नहीं सकता है। और हम ये कहते हैं कि एवरीडे लाइफ में स्पिरिचुअली एलिवेटेड थॉट एंड एक्शन को लाना, ये सॉफ्ट पावर बनाएंगे। इसका मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि जब हमारा ऑफिस का टाइम है तब हम एक जगह बैठ के प्रार्थना शुरू कर दे, ये नहीं कह रहे हम ये कह रहे हैं कि ड्यूरिंग आवर एवरीडे लाइफ हम कोई भी चीज जो अडॉप्ट करे विच एलिवेटेड है, यानी कि हायर कॉन्शियसनेस का है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इंटेग्रिटी, कि हमें किसी को दुख नहीं देना है, कि हमें इंटेग्रिटी अडॉप्ट करनी है हमारी लाइफ में। ऐसा जो एलिवेटेड थॉट्स एक्शन में हम लाते हैं इन आवर एवरीडे लाइफ, तो ये ऐसे हम स्पिरिचुअलिटी को हमारी एवरीडे लाइफ में जुड़ाते हैं। इससे सॉफ्ट पावर बनता है, और ये एवरी भारतवासी को ये करना है और कर सकेंगे। क्यों? कि भारत एक ही कंट्री है सारी दुनिया में कि जिधर अब तक 21st सेंचुरी तक ये स्पिरिचुअलिटी अभी भी सारे भारत में एग्जिस्ट होती है। हमारी रीत रुधि भी ऐसी है कि अभी थोड़ा सा स्क्रैच करो तो उसके नीचे हमको दिखाएगा स्पिरिचुअलिटी। तो ये भारत में पॉसिबल है, लेकिन हमको ये सोचना है कि हमें ये करना है कि नहीं, क्योंकि अभी हम वेस्टर्न सिविलाइजेशन, जो हम वेस्टर्न सिविलाइजेशन कहते हैं, वो सिविलाइजेशन नहीं है, इनको हम फॉलो करते हैं। लेकिन यूरोप में देखो कि वो लोग देखते हैं ईस्ट में कि हमारा क्या कैपेबिलिटी है कि जो वो अडॉप्ट करें। तो ये हमें सोचना है, हमें हमारी सेल्फ एस्टीम को ऊपर लानी है, हमको ये स्पिरिचुअल थॉट एंड एक्शन हमारी डेली लाइफ में जुड़ाना है, हमें ये फैशनेबल बनाना है। क्योंकि आज ये रूढ़ी है कि देखो हमारा एक दिन है रिलीजन के लिए, वीक में एक सुबह भी नहीं, हमारा एक दिन है। हम क्रिश्चियन है तो ये हमारा संडे है, मुस्लिम है तो फ्राइडे है, जूइश है तो सैटरडे। ऐसा हम सब दिन लेके बैठ के और बोलते हैं रेस्ट ऑफ द टाइम ये दोनों को मिक्सचर नहीं करो। तो मुझे ये स्ट्रॉन्ग फेथ है कि भारत फ्यूचर का वर्ल्ड पावर बनेगा, और ये बनाने के लिए हमें सॉफ्ट पावर वापस लाना है, और ये लाने के लिए हमको स्पिरिचुअलिटी इन आवर एवरीडे लानी है। तो ये प्लीज मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है, और आप अडॉप्ट करो और आज सुनो कि ये सब लोग जो इकट्ठा हुए थे डायलॉग में, उसने क्या निर्णय लिया है। दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। थैंक यू कि आपने मुझे क्वाइटली सुना।
Thank you, Mr. Juma. Thank
How
you so
much?
much. So now it's time for our talk show, and I'd like to invite our invited guests up onto the stage. Mr. Ram Bogol, I can't see, but there you are, yeah. Ms. Vijaya Rahatakar, yeah, thanks, Rahatakar. Please do come to the stage. And Ms. Usha Mira, yes. Thank you very much. And now the other one, I think, is Sister Elizabeth Padilla. Yes, if you could please come to the stage. Thank you. Now, I'm speaking English, and I do apologize because my Hindi isn't so good. And I think you'd actually understand better if I speak English. However, our guests, please feel free to speak Hindi or English or really any language, because through the magic of modern technology, I will be able to understand. So welcome all of you to the stage, and I'm going to introduce you to our audience in the very best way I can. And I'd like to start at the far side with Ms. Vijaya Rahatkar. And I hope I'm introducing you properly. I only met Vijaya, may I call you Vijaya, yesterday, and it was a very sweet meeting. We had our first 2 hours conversation together, and so I feel as though I know you a little bit. However, I'm a little bit intimidated sitting on the stage with you, because I know you are the former mayor of this great city. So congratulations for that. But I think more importantly for you now even is that you have become a national figure in the BJP party. And so we expect you on the BBC World Service within the next 2 to 3 years, I would say. So welcome to our stage. And now I'd like to welcome Mr. Ram Bogol. And Ram Bhai, if I could call you that. You were also in my little group that we were talking with, and I do know I'm actually quite intimidated by you because clearly you are a very, very successful businessman and industrialist. But I think what was more important to me was that throughout the morning it became extremely clear to me that you are really a real long-standing citizen of this city, and there really aren't too many people you don't know. And I'm sure there are many people in this audience. I was really quite impressed that out of the nearly 40 people that we had in the room at the beginning of our meeting yesterday, you knew about 30 of them, which was extraordinary to me. And so I'd also like to introduce Ms. Usha Mehra. And Usha, you and I didn't really speak very much yesterday, but I was particularly taken by your enthusiasm and your ability to articulate. And so I ran around to Sister Maureen and I said, we've really got to get her on stage. And I've since learnt that you worked for the national government, I think, and you passed out of university some years ago, and you spent 14 years with the government. And I think you were in the Andaman Islands, yeah? Yeah, so that's amazing. It's always a part of the world that I was quite interested to know about. So welcome to the stage. And then finally, Sister Elizabeth, thank you very much for your beautiful singing today. We really appreciated it. But also thank you for your mind. And we know that, we know what you're capable of because we were listening to yesterday and your input was very, very valuable. But what I think the audience doesn't yet know is what deep experience you have, because as well as being quite clearly a fantastic singer, and earlier today you were singing, I think, a bit of Rigoletto in the Ellora Caves for us, and that was fantastic. But you were also in the theater, an actress, and you actually gave all that up to work really for the good of humanity. And you now are the program director for the retreat center of the Brahma Kumaris in San Francisco. So you've come a long way to be here with us tonight. So thank you very much. So now I'd like to start our short discussion tonight by starting really with you, Vijaya, if I may. And please, feel free to speak in any language you like. Huh? Yeah. What I'd like to ask you is, could you please share with our invited guests here tonight what your inspirations and impressions were of your meeting yesterday, the time spent with us yesterday? So please, take the stage.
आदरणीय स्टेज आणि सर्व सन्माननीय उपस्थित मंडळी, ब्रह्मकुमारीच्या वतीनं काल जो सेमिनार झाला, त्या सेमिनारला असण्याची एक मला मोठी सुसंधी काल प्राप्त झाली होती. आणि कालचा जो हा अनुभव होता, हा अनुभव माझ्याकरता मला असं वाटलं की माझं आयुष्य बदलणारा असा होता. आत्ताच निझारजींनी सांगितलं की आध्यात्मिक शक्तींचं भारत हे केंद्र आहे. किंबहुना स्पिरिच्युअलिटी जर कुठं असेल तर ती भारतामध्ये आहे. भारतामध्ये ठाई ठाई ती दिसते. पण आपण जर बघितलं तर आपला हा जो बेस आहे, जो अध्यात्माचा पक्का बेस, जो माणसाला शेवटी मोक्षाकडं, शांतीकडं नेतो आणि आयुष्यामध्ये स्थिरता देतो, त्या बेसकडेच आपलं दुर्लक्ष झालं आहे. आणि समहाऊ आपला हा बेस किंबहुना आपला हा इतका जाज्वल्य इतिहास आपण विसरून चाललो आहोत. त्याची एक चांगली डोळस आठवण कालच्या ब्रह्मकुमारीच्या कार्यक्रमानं मला करून दिली. आता जसं आपण म्हटलं की ही जी सॉफ्ट पॉवर आहे जी भारताकडे पुन्हा परत येणार आहे असं आपण मानतो, ती आज हार्ड पॉवर आहे. आणि दहशतवाद असेल, प्रचंड भांडणं असतील, कटकटी असतील, एकमेकांच्या मधले वाद असतील, असे अनेक गोष्टी असतील ज्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला ही हार्ड पॉवर दिसते. पण हिला जर सॉफ्ट करायचं असेल आणि जर भारताला आपला वारसा जर पुन्हा परत आणायचा असेल तर ह्याकरता आपल्याला काही प्रयत्न केले पाहिजेत. आणि शेवटी मला असं वाटतं की सॉफ्ट पॉवर म्हणजे काय, तर आपल्या आयुष्यामध्ये जी मूल्ये आहेत ज्याला आपण शाश्वत मूल्य समजतो, मग ते प्रेम असेल, अहिंसा असेल, सेवाभाव असेल, दयाळूपणा असेल आणि खूप काही मूल्य आहेत, अशी अनेक मूल्य. या मूल्यांच्याकडं आपल्याला पुन्हा परत यावं लागेल. याचा पुन्हा आपल्याला अंगीकार करावा लागेल, आपल्या आयुष्यामध्ये यांना स्थान द्यावं लागेल. आणि जेव्हा या मूल्यांना हे स्थान मिळेल तेव्हाच आपली स्पिरिच्युअलिटी, आपलं हे आध्यात्मिक सेंटर पुन्हा बनेल असं मला वाटतं. खरं तर आम्हाला हे सगळं माहिती आहे, पण हे जरी माहिती तरी आम्ही विसरलो, जसं मी आधी म्हटलं होतं. आणि ह्याच्याकरता कोणीतरी जाणीव करून देणं, कोणीतरी सांगणं, आपला हा वारसा उत्तमपणे आपल्याला समोर आणणं हे अत्यंत आवश्यक होतं. आणि ब्रह्मकुमारीजने ते काम आमच्याकरता काल खूपच चांगलं केलं. मला हे पण वाटतं आहे की जेव्हा मी राजकारणामध्ये काम करते तेव्हा या सगळ्या मूल्यांची अत्यंत गरज आहे हे मला माहिती आहे. पण तरीसुद्धा याची अधिक डोळसपणे जाणीव करून देणं ते किती महत्त्वाचे आहेत. आणि ज्या पदावर मी काम करते आहे त्या पदावरनं जर या मूल्यांचं जर आपण अवलंब केला, ही जर मूल्य आपल्या आयुष्यामध्ये जर आणली तर अधिक किती चांगली आपण काम करू शकतो. आणि शेवटी माणसाला माणूस बनवण्याचं उत्तम काम या मूल्यांच्या माध्यमातून करू शकतो. ह्याची पण जाणीव मला अतिशय चांगल्या रीतीनं ब्रह्मकुमारीजनं काल करून दिली. आपण असं म्हणतो की माणसांच्यामध्ये प्रेम असलं पाहिजे, बंधुता असली पाहिजे, एक भाव असला पाहिजे. पण हे सगळं असतानासुद्धा आपल्याला हे सांगण्याकरता कोणीतरी, जसं काल आम्ही म्हणते की कोणीतरी कॅटलिस्ट असावा लागतो. कोणीतरी आपण कॅटलिस्ट म्हणूयात, गुरु म्हणूयात, एखादा विचार म्हणूयात, ज्याला जे वाटतं त्यांनी आपापल्या परीनं त्याला म्हणायचं आहे, तो जो काय विचार असेल ते. पण त्या कॅटलिस्टचं काम हे ब्रह्मकुमारीजने केलेलं आहे. आणि मला अशी खात्री आहे की माझ्या पुढच्या आयुष्यामध्ये कालच्या ह्या सेमिनारचा मला अतिशय उपयोग होईल. आणि समाजाकरता, लोकांच्याकरता काम करायला ह्या मूल्यांचाही मला खूप उपयोग होईल. आणि मी अधिक चांगल्या रीतीनं, अधिक सक्षम रीतीनं आणि एक माणूस म्हणून अतिशय उत्तमपणे काम करू शकेल. आणि त्याचं श्रेय नक्कीच हे ब्रह्मकुमारीजला असेल.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And now I'd like to turn to Usha Ben. Yeah? And I'd like to ask you your frank and honest opinion of your experience yesterday and some of the insights and inspirations that you got from our time together.
Right, okay. See, in India, since time immemorial and even in the present time, there is no dearth of the institutions or the gurus who keep preaching about the virtues of love, compassion, sympathy, forgiveness and all. Even Brahma Kumaris also preach all these things. And I have been following the episodes of Brahma Kumari on TV since long time, and I really love Sister Shivani's discourses. But when I came to this session of Future of Power yesterday, what I have fallen for is the topic. This topic, that Future of Power, I had never even imagined that they would have chosen this kind of a topic, because this topic, it'll be mild to say if I say that it is relevant for today's time. It's the pressing need of the time, because the way the definition of power has been distorted, the shape of power has been distorted in today's world, or especially in India. We really need to shift our focus about power. The power has really been associated now with some kind of authority, some kind of authoritative position. And we have totally forgotten that if anybody has these virtues of love, compassion, sympathy, humanity, forgiveness, he having some kind of power in his personality, and if he becomes a sum total of these virtues in his theoretical as well as practical life, he is really a powerhouse of power, that man or woman, whoever. So I really congratulate, I appreciate, I really bravo Brahmakumaris and Mr. Juma to choose this kind of topic in today's time, which is badly needed in this country, because India, and he's shifting the focus from hard power to soft power and trying to bring it back to its root, that is India. And India, because it is a pool of youthful energy. Everyone knows that India is young nowadays. And if that energy is not rightly directed to the right channels, it will be totally misdirected, or it will be simply lost or wasted. So it's very appreciable that if they go and tap the real sources of youth energy in India, like the schools, colleges, professional institutions, corporate houses, and for that matter, even the families in total, because first the parents, some parents have also lost focus on the soft power. So first they need to be taught what is the potential of soft power, and if they are inspired to educate their children, bring up their children on the basis of such power to be able to become a good citizen and later on good leader, because country is really confused and looking for a good leadership, even in political field, even in administrative field, who have all these virtues. So I really appreciate this topic, and my experience was absolutely wonderful. As you said, I participated also enthusiastically, and I have seen that wherever this youth power have by divine grace chosen the right path, like I see in, if you go to the Art of Living ashrams anywhere, you go to ISKCON temples anywhere, they're all IITians and professionals, young people. They are following their practices, and they are doing so well, their lifestyle, they are helping people in any which way, they are doing so much philanthropic work. So whoever has chosen the right path is okay. But I really appreciate if Brahmakumaris can go to the less privileged ones. Not less privileged. By less privileged, I don't mean only the economically less privileged. Those who are morally, ethically, and spiritually less privileged. Whether they are economically privileged also, they might be less privileged in these fields. So I'm really in love with the topic, and I really appreciate, I'm a fan of now Mr. Jumma, that after being so busy. And one more thing I would like to say, if Mr. Jumma at this juncture of life realized all these things, so imagine if Brahmakumaris can spread this message to the youth of India and to the parents and families of India. And from the very right age, जब वो दारू और नशा और पार्टी में involved थे, उसी age से अगर वो ये समझ लें कि that is the wrong path, तो इंडिया का क्या होगा? कल्याण हो जाएगा, और उसके through world का कल्याण हो जाएगा. So I am thrilled with the experience.
Thank you very much indeed, Usha. Excellent. And so Mr. Rambogel, you are clearly an extremely experienced businessman, and you've lived here in Aurangabad all your life, and you so kindly accepted our invitation. I really don't know how you know the Brahmakumaris, and maybe you'll tell us this afternoon. But right now, if you could just very simply tell us your top of your mind, the real inspiration and the insights that you got from your experience yesterday.
Thank you, Anthony. Honorable Dais and ladies and gentlemen, I would like to speak in English and Marathi. English to begin with, so that our brothers and sisters who have traveled from far understand what I want to say. And then Marathi or Hindi, because some of you may not follow me if I speak in English. Yesterday was a wonderful experience. When the first time I met representatives and a sister from Brahma Kumaris. I was not very sure what topic we are going to discuss, though the title was Future of Power. And I was wondering what power we are talking about. Is it political power? Is it money power? What kind of power are we going to discuss? When the subject was broached yesterday morning about soft power, I was wondering whether softness could ever be equated with power. And then I realized that even in softness, there is a lot of power. And in India, we always have worshipped Shakti, which was one of the questions put to me yesterday. And that is not power, but that is strength. And when you are able to differentiate between power and strength, you are able to understand what is soft power and what is power. Power could be might, and soft power could be strength. The inner strength to overcome challenges. The inner strength to bring about ability to face this world the way it is and still remain peaceful, happy, calm, the way we always have aspired to be. I mean, why do we work? Why do we earn money? Why do we do things that we always do, what we are not supposed to do? The only goal is to achieve enough power, maybe money power or political power or whatever power, so that we are able to make everybody around us happy, particularly our family. And that effort could change if we understand that the power doesn't make you really happy, but the strength, that is Shakti, makes you happy. And that was the message that I received in yesterday's discussion, because speaker after speaker in the audience said that the power is not what we are looking at. We are looking at the inner strength, this willpower that would take us to heights which we have not achieved yet, particularly to be very peaceful, very happy. So हम खुशियों की जो ढूंढने निकलते हैं, खुशियाँ ढूंढने निकलते हैं, तो जो माध्यम हम उसका समझते हैं पैसा या राजनीति या और कई चीज़ें, तो कल के पूरे अनुभव से मुझे ये कहना पड़ेगा और मेरे जीवन के अनुभव से भी मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि हम जिस जगह ये आनंद को ढूंढने निकलते हैं, खुशियों को ढूंढने निकलते हैं, वो सारी जगह गलत होती है. जो रास्ते हम अपनाते हैं वो सारे रास्ते गलत होते हैं. जो सही रास्ते थे वो 2500 साल पहले इस देश में थे, हम सबको वो मालूम है, और फिर भी हमारा उन रास्तों पे भरोसा नहीं रहा है. क्यों नहीं रहा है? क्योंकि हम बहुत लोगों को अपने में समा लेने के उद्देश्य से काम करते थे, और हम ये समझते थे कि हम जैसे है वैसी ही सारी दुनिया है, और दुनिया हमें उसी तरीके से ट्रीट करेगी जिस तरीके से हम दुनिया को, हमारे मेहमानों को ट्रीट करते थे. लेकिन बाहर देश से आने वाले सारे मेहमान हमारे जैसे नहीं थे. कई लोगों ने हमारे ऊपर राज किया, कई लोगों ने हमारे यहाँ की जो संपत्ति थी वो यहाँ से उठा के अपने अपने देशों में लेके गए. लेकिन एक बात तो बिल्कुल ठीक निज़ार जी ने कही कि ये सारी पावर यहाँ से वो उठा के ले जा रहे थे, तब कुछ हमारे विचार भी अपने साथ में लेके गए, और आज हम ये देखते हैं कि उन्हीं विचारों के साथ इनमें से कई लोग वापस हमारे यहाँ आ रहे. और अगर हम इन विचारों को अपना ले, फिर से एक बार अपना ले, तो जो सपना आज जुमा जी ब्रह्म कुमारी के साथ देख रहे हैं कि भारत एक फिर से एक शक्ति स्थल बनेगा, और ये शक्ति स्थल वो माइट वाला शक्ति स्थल नहीं होगा. इट विल नॉट बी द माइट, इट वुड स्टिल बी अ वेरी पावरफुल नेशन. इट वुड हैव द स्ट्रेंथ टू फेस द वर्ल्ड द वे इट इज. तो वो होना बहुत ज़रूरी है और मुझे पूरा विश्वास हुआ कल के मेरे अनुभव से कि ये मुमकिन है और ये ज़रूर होगा. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Mr. Bogle. And so now, Elizabeth, you are living and you're a citizen of the country in which the center of gravity of power currently resides. And clearly you love India because you've been associated with the Brahma Kumaris for so many years. But you also have the perspective of a Westerner, and specifically as an American. And I was wondering, therefore, what we could learn from your insights and inspirations from your experiences yesterday.
Thank you, Anthony. And thank you for your insights. It makes it very easy for me and rich. Right now, also Nizar alluded to also that the powers that we've always looked up to in the West, and specifically to the USA, are no longer holding power. They're cracking. And if any of us do catch up and read up on the news, the economy is very fragile. Education, I come from a clan of teachers, and when I was living in California, when we first moved there in the 60s, it was #1. California was #1 in education. It's now the 50th of all the 50 states. So we've seen, you know, education crumble. And, you know, not just politics, education, but I think also morally. And in the media and movies, they, you know, India and other countries follow Hollywood and such. So you have that influence. But it's no longer holding power. And I remember when I was in the theater, when I was acting, performing, I met a lot of famous people and influential people. And when you got to know them, they didn't have a lot of integrity. And that's the theme I feel is with this future of power, is finding again that integrity that each of us has. And what I have learned, the gift that India has given me that I did not have before, was a sense of self, a sense of who I am. And I could see how my life shifted, where I was under the influence of media, under the influence of my country, of the values of that country. And then I said, wait a minute, let me try this shift to India. And I saw how my life began to change, and that I was able to become someone who could speak in front of you today with a sense of authority, whereas before, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how to speak from my heart. Now, with this program, Future of Power, I feel that it's just begun. I feel that it has so much potential. This was my first experience, and I am aware that I believe half the population of India is under the age of 30. Is that right? I think so, yeah. That's amazing. And the education system is good in India, is that right? That's my understanding. So a lot of the knowledgeable youth are in this country. And if you notice, a lot of the outsourcing is coming to India. And so it's already shifting if you want to look at it economically and on the means of the asset of education here. But from my heart, after traveling South India, the last 10 days, I've had the fortune of traveling. And I feel that, yes, India has the wisdom, and that is our anchor. but I also see how it leads with its heart. And maybe this soft power, we think, oh, well, we were eluded before by having soft power. But I feel that there's a change. I feel there's a big shift. And I also feel that there isn't much time. And this has sped up my efforts. And so I really appreciate the experience that I had yesterday in the dialogue and conversation with these eminent people and the insights that it brought to me. So thank you.
Thank you. So clearly, all of you had a good time. And I think just looking at the faces of the others that were there, I think they all had a good time. And I think there are really two things, because not everyone always tells the truth when they want to be nice to you. You may have done something pretty ordinary and they'll say, oh yeah, it was very nice. But I think we know when we look into their eyes and when we look into their faces. And yesterday, certainly when I looked at the faces of everybody, they seemed very, very satisfied. But there was one other clue. At the end of our program, Sister Genti, who you'll meet later today, finished with a meditation. And it was pretty clear that the program was over. But then Nizar and I and Sister Maureen had a problem. No one wanted to leave. It was almost extraordinary. So thank you for having such a good time. It's very nice for us to know in a very real way that this has touched you to your core. Now, the future of power is a discussion, a communication, a dialogue of very high ideals. And Sister Vijaya, I know that you have worked in politics. And in politics, there's a lot of funny business. And you probably, above all others, know the kind of obstacles that are going to get in the way of anything really good. And so I would like to ask you, just for a few comments off the top of your head, ideas, about what you think the main obstacles may be to India achieving its position in the world as the leader that it rightfully should be, but based on this soft power. So please share with us your insights about the obstacles to soft power.
मला असं वाटतंय की ही जी सॉफ्ट पॉवर आता इंडियाकडं येते आहे ती अशी काही सहजासहजी येणार नाही. त्याच्यामध्ये अनेक अडचणी असू शकतात. त्याकरता अनेक गोष्टीसुद्धा कराव्या लागतील. आपल्या सगळ्यांचा ठाम विश्वास आहे, आपली श्रद्धा आहे की भारत हा जगाचं नेतृत्व करणार आहे आणि त्या दिशेनेच आपली वाटचाल असली पाहिजे. पण आज जर आपण बघितलं तर कुठेतरी गुणांची कमी किंवा आपल्या आतमध्ये ज्या काही शक्ती आहेत, ज्या काही गोष्टी आहेत त्याची कमी किंबहुना ते बाहेर न येणं ही सुद्धा सॉफ्ट पॉवर बनण्यामध्ये एक मोठी अडचण होऊ शकते. त्यामुळे त्या आंतरिक शक्तींना बाहेर काढणं, त्या आंतरिक शक्तींना उत्तमपणे वाव देणं आणि ह्या शक्तींनी बाहेर येऊन काम करणं. जसं मी आधी म्हटलं की फार साध्या शब्दांमध्ये जर सांगायचं म्हटलं तर आपल्या आतमध्ये असलेले जे सगळे गुण आहेत त्यांना तुम्ही उत्तमपणे वाव देणं. मग ते सगळ्यात पहिलं म्हणजे असलेलं प्रेम, अंतरामध्ये असलेलं प्रेम, हे प्रेम असेल, दया असेल, अशा अनेक क्षमाशीलता ही वृत्ती असेल, या सगळ्या गोष्टींना बाहेर यावं लागेल. ज्या वाईट गोष्टी आहेत त्यांना त्यावर मात करावी लागेल. मला एक वाटतं की आज आपण कशाचा सामना करतो आहोत तर प्रचंड दहशतवादाचा, स्वतःशी होत असलेल्या संघर्षाचा आपण सामना करतो आहोत. आपण जर बघितलं तर असा एकही माणूस नाही, एकही व्यक्ती नाही की जिचा स्वतःशी संघर्ष चाललेला नाही आहे. केवढा वैचारिक संघर्ष आहे, केवढे ताण आहेत. आणि ह्या ताणांवर जर मात करायची असेल तर ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टींना आपण आज वाव दिला पाहिजे, ह्या चांगल्या गोष्टी बाहेर आणल्या पाहिजे, प्रयत्नपूर्वक त्या बाहेर आणल्या पाहिजे. तर ह्या आपण अडचणींना म्हणजे ही जी आज हार्ड पॉवर आहे हिच्यावर आपण मात करू शकू असं वाटतं आणि म्हणूनच ह्या गुणांचा अंगीकार केला पाहिजे. आणि मी जसं आधी म्हटलं की ब्रह्मकुमारीज हे एक कॅटलिस्ट आहे, गुरु आहे, आपण म्हणू तसं त्या मार्गानं त्यांनी सांगितलेल्या मार्गानं आपण गेलं पाहिजे. त्या मार्गाचा जर अंगीकार झाला तर नक्कीच आपण एका चांगल्या दिशेने जाऊ असं मला वाटतं.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those comments. And now, Sister Usha, back to you. Now, I happen to know that you gave up a very promising career in the Indian civil service for the need of your family, which is no higher need than that. So thank you for doing that, not only for your own family, but for society.
Thank you so much for appreciating that. Many people do not.
Yeah, and I think maybe this is part of soft power, knowing what's important, yeah? Yes. So you made quite a few comments in your first little talk this evening, talking about the youth.
Yes.
And I wonder whether you'd like to share with us what your thoughts would be to share. What would you say to the youth of India relative to this soft power and India taking up its rightful role as a leader in the world? Please advise the youth of India.
Yeah, the youth of India, first of all, as I in my earlier part mentioned, that there are few privileged or blessed by divine this thing who have already channelized their energies on the right track. I don't think that I need to give any further advice to that section of youth. They are very well aware, they are very well educated, and they have already contacted the right sources from where they can learn how to derive power out of all these ancient, valuable virtues which have already been laid down in Indian Vedas, Shastras, and otherwise in all Indian philosophical systems. But yesterday in our session, some gentleman had mentioned that our philosophy is already, our Vedas already full of these teachings about soft power, although we never give this term of soft power to these virtues, but we always knew that these virtues empower you anyways. But this focusing your thought on this, that the world can actually be governed in a welfare manner only through soft power and not through hard power. That message has to be given to that enlightened youth, firstly. That can best be done by the gurus like Brahmakumaris, like Sri Ravi Shankar, like whoever are the leading gurus of those lines. So I would urge them that instead of propounding new ways or thinking of new ways, we already know the ways. As in the present system, political setup also, it is being said that the laws are already drawn there in the Indian Constitution, but they are not being executed properly. So here also, this system, these institutes need to execute as best as possible, and as Madam said, the time is less. So as fast as possible, they have to penetrate that youth as fast as possible. And then there is another pool of Indian youth lying there who's not so privileged economically, educationally, awareness-wise. For them, Indian government has to face the challenge because the population is huge, and education is not spreading, pardon me saying all this, if I mean it should not be taken at all in the wrong perspective. Education उतनी अच्छी तरह masses को पहुंच नहीं पा रही है. जो less privileged youth है, अगर उनको हम अवेयर, इफ दे कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग्स ऑफ द थॉट्स विच आर लेड डाउन इन आवर वेदास, it's very difficult to expect them to start following them in their life. So first they need to be educated, given employment, उनका पहले पेट भरना चाहिए, भूख शांत होनी चाहिए, ताकि आदमी का ध्यान रोटी कपड़ा और मकान से हटे और फिर वो कुछ हायर लाइफ की तरफ सोचने के लिए सोच सके उस बारे में. तो इस फील्ड में भी बहुत करना है कि जो अनएजुकेटेड यूथ है उसको एजुकेट करना है और फिर उसको अवेयर करके इस रोड पे लाना है. एंड देन वी हैव टू मेक देम अंडरस्टैंड दैट दे आर ओनली द बेस्ट नेशनल रिसोर्स और मे बी द वर्ल्ड्स बेस्ट रिसोर्स, क्योंकि उन्हीं में से हमको फ्यूचर लीडर भी मिलने हैं. एंड इंडिया इज़ रियली इन डर्थ ऑफ लीडर. पीपल आर लुकिंग फॉर द गुड ऑप्शंस, दे आर नॉट गेटिंग एनी, एंड द यूथ इज़ नॉट दैट मच इनिशिएटेड इन दैट डायरेक्शन. अभी थोड़ा माइंडसेट इंडिया में ऐसा है कि पॉलिटिक्स ज्वाइन नहीं करना, वो बहुत गंदी होती है. तो गंदगी को साफ करने के लिए आप उसमें उतरेंगे क्यों नहीं? ये चीज़ हमको उनकी सिखानी बहुत ज़रूरी है. और ये इसके लिए आई थिंक जो इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं वो तो हैं ही. वन मीडियम विच आई फाइंड मोस्ट पावरफुल इज़ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया एंड थ्रू टीवी सीरियल्स एंड ऑल. अभी आमिर खान ने एक शो शुरू किया था सत्यमेव जयते, इतना अच्छा था एंड ही डिड नॉट लूज साइट ऑफ हिज पर्पस एट ऑल. वो बिल्कुल भी ट्रैक से हिला नहीं कि मैंने किस लिए ये शो शुरू किया है. मोस्टली व्हाट हैपन्स, एनी मूवमेंट इफ इट स्टार्ट्स, in the long run many people start joining it and it loses its perspective and it starts going little haywire. Then people also feel distracted and they again start feeling aimless. I hope it does not happen with this initiative. It does not lose its focus.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Just reading between the lines there, I could sort of imagine that really anyone who isn't a youth, probably most of the people here are older than youth, really the best thing we can do to help them is by being a good example, by setting a good example. And of course, if our politicians could set a good example, that would be even better. And of course, that's a great obstacle. It's easy to talk about things, maybe not so difficult to actually do them. Yeah. So, Mr. Bogle, I would like you to just make a few comments. There was something that you said yesterday that really impressed me. I think you were talking about the word power. And I'll just let you into a secret here, but Mr. Bogle doesn't actually like the word power. And now I'll let him explain.
Thank you. See, there are few things that happen when you use certain words, and there are few things happen which, if you use certain measures for deciding whether we are progressing or we are not progressing. And let me explain this phenomena. See, in most part of the world, the accepted norm of progress of any society is its consumption. How much do you consume per capita? Consumption is actually destruction. If you consume, it is finished. And all progress is measured on how much you consume. How much steel you consume per capita, how much cement you consume per capita, how much petrol you consume per capita, or power you consume per capita. That's the measure. There was a time in this country when we respected a person whose consumption was the minimum. And that was the time this country had soft power. The day we started measuring our progress in terms of consumption, we have started destroying this country systematically. So, the moment you use this word progress for more and more consumption, Your direction is to consume and destroy and not to save and conserve. But if you use this term progress to see how much is saved and how much is conserved, then the direction would change. Same thing with this power. The word power, how is it understood by a common person? Power means power. That's how we understand it. We don't understand it as strength to overcome challenges. We understand it as strength to throw challenges. We understand power as the power that politicians wield over public. And where did it come from? The government, the concept of democratically elected government came from the rulers who left us 60 years ago. But they were rulers and they wanted to propagate a system which would help a few people control the entire mass. We are continuing with that system, thinking that that is the right system. We don't have any faith in our people. So we believe in that power which has no faith in its population. Are we going to be misled by this word power? And therefore I said that let's change this word. Let's not use power, future of power. The moment we say future of power, if it is shifting from US to the East, and if we believe that it is shifting to India, then all of us will start imagining that we are the next US, United States of America. Is that what we really want to be? People would say that, oh, beautiful roads, lovely buildings, clean and neat cities. What about people? What about people? And if all that is possible with good governance, why 300 times the GDP debt burden on America? Why do they need to protect themselves by invading others? Why can't they protect themselves by inviting others? Do you really think they are powerful or that they are paranoid? I personally feel that if you want that kind of a might, you are paranoid, you are afraid that somebody is likely to destroy us and therefore we must have that might. But somebody who has the inner strength would never feel the need of any might. And that is what we should be aspiring for. That is what Mahatma Gandhi was all about, the inner strength. And the more strength that you develop, the better you will be. The cleaner your cities would be. The more faith your government will have in you. Right now, the government wouldn't believe you because they are paranoid. They will start believing in you the day they are not paranoid and they have the inner strength of having faith in you that you will follow the law. You will not really not follow the law or break the law. I mean, that's the kind of future that I foresee for India. And that's the difference that I would like to make between power and inner strength.
And I think the key word is, instead of power, it's empower. To empower the people. And so now I would like to empower...
I would like to make that comment.
Yes,
if you please. See, I said that in India, we never thought that we are powerful. We always thought that we are empowered. So the power is with someone else and we are empowered to act on behalf. And who had that power? The Almighty, the God. See, it had the power and we were empowered to act on His behalf. And that was our inner feeling. The day you start feeling you are powerful, you start destroying things.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. So, Now, we are also graced with the presence of quite a few from other parts of the world, and I'd like to invite them up onto the stage just to very quickly make your acquaintance. So if I could ask, please, Ms. Goodluck Gudrun to come up on the stage, please. Klaus Peter to come on the stage. Mr. John Symes, and Sister Maureen Morney, and Mr. Marc Foucault from France. And Elizabeth we have here already, and you've heard from her. So do come up on stage, and someone will bring you. Remain seated, and we'll all go down together. So no, that's okay. Well, because we're not going to be long. And let's give you Sister Maureen. Let me give you the microphone, and just make your acquaintance. No more than 30 seconds.
ओम शांति मेरा नाम मोरनी है ऑस्ट्रेलिया से आए हूँ और 2 साल भारत रहती में ये program Future of Power. But I'd just like to say on this word power, it's a very wonderful discussion. But as someone said, actually all of this abuse and corruption, this is not power. What we are seeing in the world today, hard power, is not power. Real power is this inner strength. So it's very interesting to start this dialogue about power because it's something that we haven't been talking about for centuries. So I'm very much enjoying this dialogue on the future of power.
Klaus Peter.
Good evening, Om Shanti. I'm Klaus Peter from Germany and living in India since 4 years in the month with the Brahma Kumaris in Abu Road. And in these 4 years I have seen that India has really a lot of skills which are necessary to have this or to get this soft power. And one of the skills is acceptance and tolerance. And I feel also the capacity to try to understand other people. And especially here today in Aurangabad, I had this experience this morning when we had with a group of foreigners our short meditation, that outside there was a church bell. You can see there are Buddhists in this city. Then you can see there are also the Muslims and the Hindus. All these religions are living together, and that is something what is not normal nowadays in the world. And you can see to have such a skill, to have the acceptance and the tolerance and also the desire to understand each other, that is one of the skills you need for the soft power.
Good evening. I do love India. For the past 25 years, I've come to India every single year. And this year, I've spent nearly a week in Aurangabad and participated in the dialogue yesterday. And for me, that very much has confirmed my idea of power, that power, true power, has to do with awareness and comes from within, that it is the strength that empowers, that supports, that is beneficial to all those around me, not just for myself.
Om Shanti, friends. My name is John Symes. I'm originally from the UK and live now in the USA and travel throughout the world and prefer to think of myself as a citizen of the world. And I would simply add that the future of power is when we all see ourselves as citizens of the world and extend our care and our compassion and our action to the harmony of the human family throughout the world and our harmony with our Mother Earth, who feeds and nourishes us every day. So I invite all of you to see yourselves as powerful citizens of the world. Thank you.
Om Shanti, my name is Marc Foucault. I'm coming from France, from Paris. I spent quite a lot of time in India, more than 20 years, and as a consultant, and I'm working on what we call the soft power in companies. How can we measure and restore and develop the impact of soft power in our organization. And in fact, it is very simple to describe what is soft power in any organization. Is what is the meaning of our contribution to the community? What is the value system we shape our organization around? And what is our dream? What is our vision? Where do we want to go? I had a great experience in Aurangabad, meeting great people, and it looks that the dream is on. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much indeed. If I could you'd like to take your seats again. Thank you so much. And now it's my great privilege and pleasure to invite our main guests for this evening. If I could please invite the Honorable Shri Rajesh Tope to the stage, Brahmakumari Jenti, Santosh Didi, Mr. Nizar Juma, and Sheila Didi, all to come to the stage now, please. Please take your seats. Jenti Ben. Welcome to the stage. Welcome, Mr. Nizar Juma. Welcome, Santosh Didi. Here you are, sitting beside me. Thank you. And Sheila Didi, I think you're the other side there. So, welcome to the stage. Our guests are here. And it is now my pleasure again to invite our chief guest, the Honorable Shri Rajesh Tope, to deliver his speech. Shri Rajesh Tope is the Minister of Higher and Technical Education for the Maharashtra state, and I think that's an extremely appropriate person to have on the stage with us, because I think the subject that we're talking about can be termed really only as the highest of high education. So, welcome to the stage, and I please invite you for your speech. Thank you.
Honorable Dadiji Janki ji, Chief of Brahma Kumari, Honorable Mr. Nizar Juma, initiator and founder of Future of Power program, all the dignitaries on the dais, all the distinguished speakers right now, those who had spoken before us, Sister Jayanti, Shri Ram Bhogle ji, Srimati Vijaya, Rahatkar, Mr. Peter, and all the respected citizens of Aurangabad city, and my dear friends from print and electronic media, and brothers and sisters. I'm indeed extremely delighted for being invited as one of the speakers before all of you during a special program of thought leaders on future of power. At the outset, let me take the opportunity to congratulate Mr. Juma and his team for being instrumental in formation of this Future of Power program. I extend my special compliments for all the participants. Friends, I had prepared a small note on 3 thoughts. So I will be elaborating it. The 3 thoughts which, in my words, the meaning power which is being discussed since long, according to my perspective, what I feel I have written, it is a drafted document. I feel in a wrongly cultivated power-hungry community, we need to research and reinvent the meaning for power for our future. It will be a great investment if we do it rightly for our young ones whose life has to have strongest foundations of governance of communities based upon a basic principle of human life, that is peace. When I went to the program document, what caught my eyes was the interpretation of power by a long-time Prime Minister of Britain, Mr. William Gladstone, who says, we look forward to the time when the power of love will replace the power for power, will replace the love for power. It's a very interesting, meaningful sentence. When the power of love will replace the love for power, and then the world will know the blessings of peace. What a wonderful thought, linking love, power and peace. Friends, due to the wrong perceptions of Indian political leaders, the concept of power is being wrongly used in our country and maybe elsewhere too. Let me frankly admit this at the beginning. In politics, the power is wrongly being interpreted as strength, as we were all discussing it. Therefore, all of us, irrespective of in politics or not, thinks that power to rule or power itself is strength, which is grossly incorrect. And then, the rulers exceeding their limits, the community teaches them a hard lesson by restoring to streets, which is difficult for all of us to digest, as it tears down the fabric of basic governance for our futuristic and peaceful society. Friends, it's a very famous saying that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. When we talk of power, its effectiveness may be evaluated by the final outcome of peace. In between, another basic human instincts come into a play, and that is love. In my opinion, power of love is based upon truth, faith and hope. Linking truth with love, I feel like quoting Mahatma Gandhi, who spearheaded all initiatives for our independence, who once said, if you have truth, you have to give it with love. And if you do not give the truth with love, either the truth is rejected or the messenger is rejected. I think Gandhiji's, this quote captures very well what Gladstone preached on power of love. Friends, the second message just I wanted to put before you, we deliberately upon our speeches addressing the audience as brothers and sisters and not ladies and gentlemen, who won the great congregation of world religion leaders by